That bumpy vase in your cabinet belongs to a glass family with some genuinely valuable rarities. The color along its rim gives you the first clue, and the familiar version most likely to be in your home is waiting at number 1. Picture the white hobnail vase that stood in your mother's china cabinet, covered from top to bottom with neat glass bumps. Many white and clear examples sell for modest amounts. A much smaller group, though, reaches a stronger collector tier because of the maker, color, shape, age, completeness, and condition. This countdown starts with commonly overlooked forms and moves towards scarce colors, older production, and unusually complete pieces. Number 1 is not automatically the most expensive. It is the vase you are most likely to recognize, and the best one for learning the whole inspection method. Start at a window. Hold the rim toward indirect daylight and study the glass where it thins out. Then take a clear photograph of the underside. Color first. Form second. Then the base. Those checks can separate two pieces that look nearly identical from across the room. Number 10 begins with the little white piece found in more inherited cabinets than almost anything else. Number 10. The small white hobnail bud vase or toothpick holder. It looks old, feels substantial, and has the milky color many families associate with grandmother's glass. None of that proves rarity. Hobnail is the name for the raised texture, and several makers produced related designs during different periods. The bumps identify the pattern family. They do not identify the valuable version. Turn the piece over and look for a molded logo, lettering, numbers, or a distinctive treatment on the base. Measure the exact height and the width of the opening. Tiny differences can point to separate molds that a casual seller may lump together under one generic name. Now, angle a light across the rim. That texture can hide little flakes and chips your fingertip may find before your eyes do. Common white examples set the modest floor for this category. An unusual size or a short-run form needs its own documented comparison, not the price attached to some vaguely similar vase online. You had no reason to know any of this from the display side. The information you needed was underneath and around the edge. The next piece adds a handle, and that one extra part creates a different inspection problem. Number 9. The hobnail basket. White milk glass and softly opalescent examples often sit beside candy dishes and decorative bowls, so families may see them as ordinary cabinet ornaments. The exact basket shape matters. So do its color and the way the applied glass handle joins the body. Same basket, same white glass. But one clean handle and one repaired join are two different objects. Set the basket on a padded surface and cast a soft light across both attachment points. Look beneath each join for a curved fracture, cloudy adhesive, an uneven polished spot, or a line that shifts direction when the basket moves. A repair can vanish when the piece faces forward, then show itself clearly from below. That does not make the basket worthless. It does change the condition description and the sales comparison you should use. Next, match the silhouette and handle shape against a documented maker catalog or a reliable pattern reference. Do not trust the word vintage in a listing. It tells you neither the mold nor the production period. A desirable color in a documented form can bring more interest, but the attribution and condition still have to agree. The practical move is easy. Photograph the front, the underside, and both handle joins before you research sales. Number 8 is even easier to separate from its most important part. Number 8. The covered hobnail dish. It may be a candy dish, powder jar, butter dish, or another lidded form, but completeness is the clue that matters most. An uncovered base may be common. That same base, with the correct cover, can be much harder to replace. The decorated body draws your eye. The plain fitting edge gives you the answer. Lower the lid gently and never force it. A correct cover should sit evenly for its design, without rocking because the rim is too wide, too narrow, or made for another mold. Compare the knob, hobnail spacing, edge profile, and daylight color. Two pieces, both called white, may still show different tones because different manufacturers made them, or because they came from different periods. Inspect the base's inner rim and the underside of the cover for chips hidden where the two parts meet. Never decide that a similarly colored lid belongs just because it rests on top. Keep both pieces until a catalog image or dependable reference confirms the pairing. A plain cover stored in another box may look unimportant. It may also be the only part that completes the object. Keep the pair together, write down the measurements, and compare complete pieces with complete pieces. Number 7 can look complete even when its most important component disappeared decades ago. Number 7. The hobnail perfume bottle or decanter. A shapely bottle can still look attractive without its stopper, but it belongs in a different market category from a documented complete example. The stopper has to prove it belongs there. Inspect the mouth and neck for internal grinding, which may be part of the intended fitting system. Then check the stopper for corresponding wear, matching color, compatible proportions, and identification numbers if the documented maker used them on that form. Never force a tight stopper. Old glass can bruise or fracture around the mouth, and the stopper's tip may already have damage hidden inside the bottle. Lift it carefully over a padded towel, then examine both surfaces under good light. A later replacement can look convincing from several feet away. Close up, the color may change at the thin edge, the grinding may fail to match, or the stopper may sit too high. The rare variable may be a certain color paired with a certain bottle shape, but looks alone cannot establish that combination. Match both the silhouette and stopper to an original catalog or a carefully attributed reference. Then compare sold examples that say whether the stopper is original, missing, damaged, or mismatched. Decorative value is one matter. Complete, documented collectability is another. 5 objects, 5 answers tucked away from the prettiest side. Maker, exact form, color, matching parts, damage. Hobnail texture gives the glass its charm, and it also hides rim flakes, repairs, mold differences, and poorly matched components. Study the edges. Study the underside. Keep every loose glass part close until you know where it belongs. The familiar vase family at number 1 will use the entire system: silhouette, measurement, color, base, and condition. Before that, number 6 takes us from the cabinet to a piece that may still have an electrical cord attached. Number 6. The hobnail table lamp, shade, globe, or glass base. These are easy to recognize because the texture stretches across such a large surface. Some lamp bodies look as though they briefly considered becoming fruit bowls. Start your inspection at the mounting edge. With the lamp unplugged and completely cool, Never lift a glass shade by its fragile rim. Support it according to the fixture's safe design, and do not take apart the wiring merely to identify the glass. If the fitter edge is already accessible, check it for chips, rough losses, and old repairs. The fitter is the section seated in the lamp hardware, and its exact diameter helps identify which fixture the glass was designed to fit. Record that measurement without forcing or altering anything. A complete lamp may depend on its correct shade, base, paired glass components, and documented color. An individual shade can also be collectible, but it should not be priced as a complete original lamp unless someone has verified the whole unit. Electrical hardware may be replaced over time, so an old cord or socket does not automatically prove that every part started together. Keep the glass identification separate from the wiring claim. Photograph the profile, mounting edge, base, and the color through the thinnest safe area. Number 5 spreads that same problem across a whole table set. Number 5. The Hobnail water set. One pitcher with its matching tumblers. A lone pitcher is an object. The correct tumblers turn it into a set. That matters because glasses get broken, divided among relatives, or placed in another cupboard while the pitcher stays on display. Start with the pitcher. Check both handle joins, the pouring lip, the foot, and the base. Then angle a light across every tumbler rim. Arrange the pieces near indirect daylight and compare the color through their thinnest edges. A true set should make sense in form, scale, pattern spacing, and documented color, though normal production variation may exist. The color name in a seller's listing is only a starting point. Ultraviolet light can reveal interesting reactions in some glass, but a glow alone does not identify the maker, mold, production date, or official color. Period catalogs and authoritative references have to establish those details. A scarce documented color in the correct pitcher and tumbler form may draw far more collector attention than a common incomplete group. Count every piece, record every measurement, and keep the tumblers together while you research. Compare the set only with realized sales matching its maker, color, completeness, and condition. Number 4 is the piece most likely to lose value one detachable part at a time. Number 4. The elaborate hobnail centerpiece with a central bowl and several removable glass horns or slender vases. Collectors call this form an epergne. The name sounds specialized, but checking one is wonderfully practical. Count the removable parts. Check the sockets. Compare the color. Inspect every attachment point. A documented complete example needs the correct number and type of horns for its particular configuration. The smallest parts may look replaceable. Often, they are the hardest ones to replace. Photograph the centerpiece fully assembled before you move a thing. Then, working over a padded surface, handle each removable horn separately and inspect its lower end for chips, grinding, or stress. Check the receiving sockets too. Color consistency matters, particularly along the thin edges, but you must consider it alongside the shape and catalog evidence. A loose horn placed in another box can easily be mistaken for an unrelated bud vase. That is how one complex centerpiece becomes several unidentified objects. Do not guess at the arrangement, and never force a part into a socket. Keep every component, label where you found it, and locate a catalog illustration showing the original configuration. Complete and partial epergnes need different comparisons. Condition reports matter because much of the damage appears where the pieces meet. Number 3 needs no cluster of parts. Its difference may appear in one band of color. Number 3. Cranberry opalescent hobnail glass. A vase, bowl, or pitcher in this color may deliver the strongest visual surprise in the cabinet. The pink catches your eye. The rim, mold, and base have to support it. Online descriptions often use cranberry and cranberry opalescent loosely, so pink glass by itself is not enough. Set the piece near indirect daylight against a white or neutral background. Photograph the rim, body, and underside separately. Look at whether the color stays even or changes deliberately through the form, and study the pale opalescent treatment around the edge. Then match the measurements, silhouette, base finish, and pattern spacing to an authoritative maker reference. A common white piece and a comparable, documented cranberry opalescent form may sit in very different collector tiers, but only if the attribution, size, and condition are genuinely comparable. A rare color with damage does not become perfect just because collectors want the color. Check for rim flakes, foot damage, heat cracks, repairs, and surface wear. When researching prices, use dated realized sales with clear photographs and measurements. A listing price tells you what someone hoped to receive. It does not tell you what a buyer paid. Number 2 can look similar, but its distinction may belong to an older generation of glassmaking. Number 2. An older opalescent hobnail pitcher, vase, or covered form from the Victorian era or another period before the familiar 20th century milk glass boom. Hobnail texture was around before the white pieces many American families know today. That does not make every unmarked object early. No mark is not a magic mark. It only gives you a reason to keep researching carefully. Examine the base finish, rim treatment, mold construction, wear patterns, and any surviving mark or label. A rough or polished area underneath may reflect how someone formed and finished the piece, but no single feature can date it. The shape and pattern must agree with authoritative documentation. Compare the piece with museum records, original trade material, scholarly references, or specialist auction descriptions that explain the attribution. If you use an auction result, read the condition report and confirm whether the stated figure was a realized sale or only an estimate. Visual resemblance can fool you. Later glass may borrow an older texture, and different makers produced bumpy patterns that broad listings simply call hobnails. Age, maker, and value have to come from several clues that agree. An unmarked base starts the investigation. It does not finish it. Number 1 brings us back to the vase family many viewers already recognize, and shows which version deserves more research. Number 1. The familiar Fenton-style hobnail vase family, starting with the widely inherited white milk glass example. It takes number 1 because it is the piece most likely to be in your home and the clearest summary of the method. It is not automatically the most valuable. Common white vases in familiar sizes often sell for modest amounts, particularly when the exact mold is plentiful or the rim and foot have damage. Most are pleasant pieces of inherited glass. A small group deserves a serious second look. Scarce documented colors, unusual sizes, less common shapes, early production variants, and exceptional condition can move a related vase into a much stronger collector category. But the comparison has to be exact. Rare Fenton hobnail in an online title tells you very little, and a high asking price is not a verified result. Start with the silhouette. Photograph the whole vase straight on against a plain background. Measure its height, its opening, and the widest point of the body. Check the rim and foot with light coming from the side because little flakes can hide between the bumps. Next, put the vase near a window and look through the thin glass at the edge. Record what the color actually does instead of guessing at a collector name. Photograph the underside, including any molded mark, label, polished area, or treatment on an unmarked base. Then compare the measurements and profile with a documented mold reference. A mark may narrow the production period, but it must be read together with the form. It is not a verdict on its own. When you compare prices, require the same maker attribution, form, size, color, and similar condition. Record the sale date and confirm that the result was realized. A scarce color vase several inches taller is no fair comparison for an ordinary white bud vase. A flawless example is no fair match for one with a repaired rim either. The full lesson comes down to maker, color, exact form, size, and condition. Your white vase may remain a modestly valued family object, and that is perfectly respectable. But if its measurements, color, base, and documented mold point to an uncommon variant, it deserves deeper research before it leaves your house. That single vase gives us the checklist for every hobnail piece in the collection: maker, color, matching parts, condition. Add the exact form and size before you search for prices. Those plain details prevent most bad comparisons. Keep covers with dishes, stoppers with bottles, tumblers with pitchers, shades with verified lamp components, and every horn with its epergne. Photograph the underside and the thin edges in indirect daylight. Then use only realized sales for the same form and documented color, with the condition stated clearly. An estimate is an estimate. A listing is a listing. Neither proves that a sale was completed. Before you donate the box, before you bundle several pieces together, before you separate a plain-looking part from its decorated body, keep the whole object intact until you establish its identity. If this inspection helped you look at inherited glass differently, a like can help the video reach another family sorting through a cabinet or attic box. Subscribe to the Heirloom Check with David Levin for the next familiar household category. And tell me in the comments, which hobnail piece do you own, and whose cabinet or table do you remember it on? Now place it in clear daylight, inspect every edge, and save one sharp photograph of the base.